everyone! Hi everyone, welcome to another video. So, in today's video, I am so excited! I have a special guest. I usually talk to her on social media. I know of her, but today was actually my first time meeting her over Zoom, Skype, whatever you guys call it. And so in today's video, we're both going to discuss just the au pair world, our goals, why we became an au pair, how she did certain things. I don't want to give away too much of it. And so stick around because it's going to be so much fun. And I'm going to bring her into the camera and we're going to discuss our whole au pair journey. Hey girl!
Hey, I'm so excited. I feel like an important somebody that I got invited to your channel.
Girl, like you are so important. You are so special. I love interacting. I'm here for all the stories you post. How are you? Tell the people your name. We didn't even get to that part.
Hey guys, my name is Mariana. What else should I tell them?
Mariana, where are you from?
Oh, okay. Dude, I'm from South Africa.
Why are you nervous? You have your own, guys, you have your own channel. You
Yeah, right? But I'm always nervous when I'm trying to talk to the camera. But okay, I'm Mariana and I'm from South Africa. And I'm currently in Connecticut/New York in America. I was an au pair in Cali, which was about 2 years ago. So I was an au pair. Yeah, in California. I lived there for 2 years and 2 months as an au pair. So yeah, and now I'm doing my own thing.
Oh, hey girl. So I have some icebreakers before we get into the tea.
Okay.
The first one, this is a typical one everyone asks, so I feel like I have to ask you since you're a special guest. Are you a mountains or ocean kind of girl?
Ocean, oh my God.
Do you love the water?
I love the water. So every time I'm on a boat or whatever, I fall asleep. Every time. It's so I have to literally keep myself up by maybe if this one time we went to Miami, we went on a boat, and the entire time I was so sleepy. The same thing happened when I was in New York. There's this other taco boat that you go on and they sell tacos and stuff. The entire time I was dozing off. It's insane. So I love the water.
The motion?
Yeah, it's the motion and the water. So even if I go at the beach and I put a towel and I sit there, I'll fall asleep.
Oof, but those are the best naps. Sleeping at the beach is obviously make sure you with other people, your stuff don't get stolen, but sleeping at the beach is the best. It's like my host kid, he's 10, and every time we get into the car, no matter how short the ride is, he's knocked out. We literally went to the store for 5 minutes, gone.
I know. I feel him. Even with the flights, when I'm in a plane, I don't even feel when it's taking off because immediately I get on and I put my seatbelt on, gone.
What is one motto you live by? One saying, one motto, one either scripture if you're Christian. What is one quote or motto you live by?
This is insane because when I was in high school, our teacher made us this, she gave us homework and she said, your homework is to find a mantra, a motto, whatever, that you're gonna live the rest of your life by. It doesn't matter, it's 10 years from now, 15 years from now. And the following day, they asked each person what the motto was, and mine was, I am the master of my destiny. So basically, I'm responsible for how my life turns out. I know people out there will be but you're not in control of anything. No, you're not. But the little actions that you make every day or that you take every day lead to your life going a certain way. If you did not apply to be an au pair, you wouldn't be in America.
Yeah.
And that's something that you did. It's not a greater power out there that did that. You put in the work, you stay in the course with the application, you know how stressful that is. You do all these things. Same thing with going to the gym. You put an effort. If you don't put an effort, nothing is gonna happen.
Okay, okay. I totally understand what you're saying. It's like I always say, like, whatever choice you make, it's either good or bad, and it's gonna either lead you towards your goal or lead you away from your goal.
Of
So
course.
that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I love that. What is one thing you love about yourself? Like one thing, one body part?
Oh, you mean okay, body part. I love my legs because they're
Oh,
long.
really? Oh, you love them because they're long?
My legs are really long. I've always had like, because I've always been tall like my whole life. Now I'm 6 foot tall, but I've been tall since as far as I can remember. Since I was like 6 years old, I was taller than everybody that I knew.
Hmm.
So my legs have always been very tall or
Uh-huh.
long. And then what else do I like about myself? My lips, they're so big. But
Okay.
now big is better.
Big is better.
So
No, my lips. I absolutely love my lips too. I'm always like, oh, I'm so glad. Yeah. Your sister's really tall.
yeah, so those are the two things that I love the most on my body. And one thing that I love about myself is, I would say, my ability to be able to like work towards the things that I want. I mean, I know everybody does this, but
You
there's a
are.
certain level of discipline that I have when it comes to achieving my goals that I wish I had when it comes to the gym, because I know I'd be killing it. But yeah, I have that when it comes to like certain goals, like financial goals, or
Mhm.
life goals and stuff like that. So I really like that. And I've seen that a lot of people don't have that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. You are a hard worker, and we're gonna talk about that also further along. I'm gonna get into detail about that. But let's talk about your au pair journey. So I know you
Hmm.
said you were an au pair 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What made you choose becoming an au pair? Like, what made you want to become an au pair?
Okay. So I don't know if you know this, but my family in South Africa, we Beslalem Kukwini,
I think I saw something about that. Yeah.
yeah, we lived in a shack, and basically my whole life I've always dreamed of bigger and better, like a better life for myself. Like I've seen, like I would look at people around me and be so uncomfortable and be like, this is not how I'm gonna turn out. This is not who I am. And
Yeah.
so I would always look at like different careers and what people are doing to have better lives. And back then you'd either be a lawyer or a doctor or something. But my parents were broke to a point that I knew that they will not be able to take me to university. And
Yeah.
so when I was in matric, which is senior
Great.
year for
Yeah.
Americans, people came because I went to a semi-private school, which I
Mhm.
didn't pay school fees for because my parents couldn't afford it either. So, but that school would have different colleges, like private colleges, come to a school and do like orientation and
Mhm.
like try to, it's like their marketing thing. They'll go to
Yeah.
different high
Yeah.
schools to try to get clients. And so one of them was international school. So basically, they were like talking about how you can study in America and stuff like that. And I took a pamphlet and I called them, and they were like, well, they wanted 500,000 rands for me to study abroad. Like they said it will cost that much for me to study for what I wanted at the time, like to become a lawyer. They said,
Uh-huh.
this is how much it's going to cost you. And I knew that I would not afford that. So I asked the lady, I'm like, is there a way for me to like do this for free? And she was like, well, if you're extra genius, you can get scholarships, but if not, you can try to become an au pair. It's cheaper, it gets you in America, you can just make money. It's not a lot of money as an au pair that you make, but it's a way for you to move abroad and travel and enjoy yourself. And from there I got obsessed with researching au pairing. But I had a friend, she would be like, oh my God, what if they traffic you? What if they, at that
Yeah.
point, because of my environment, I didn't know anybody that had done it. So
Yeah.
like everybody I told about this would be like, no, 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 you can't do that. They're gonna kill you. They're gonna do this. We've heard stories. You know how people are. They will try to
Yeah.
scare
Yeah.
you. But because of how well I'm with social media, I did my research. I finally found people on Instagram who done it. But at that time, I didn't have a job. after high school, so I couldn't come. So I had to get a job, and then from there save money, which it took me about 2 years to do all of that. But
Yeah.
finally in 2019, I was able to apply and get everything in order and then move here.
So when did you come in 2019?
I arrived on the 1st of April.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow is my 4-year anniversary in America.
Oh, wow.
Don't remind me. Oh, shoot.
How are you feeling?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. It's like, yeah, because I came in September 2019.
Oh, yeah. So you came like almost 6 months after I did then.
Yeah, because you came April 1st, I came September thing. So that's cool. So when you told your family, as you said, you told me the story earlier, but I want to get your family was not like your family was agreeing for it, but they didn't agree. Your family was saying no.
No, they did. So when I went to the orientation in Pretoria, when I spoke to them on the phone, and they were like, you need to come in person so you can get to know what we do. And so I went for orientation. I hadn't told my parents at this point that I was looking into moving to America. So I went to orientation, and then I learned everything that really happens here as an au pair, what happens and everything. And so when I came back, my mom was the first person I told, and I was like, I'm gonna move to America. Obviously she had reservations, but I'm like, no. And I show her profiles on Instagram of girls who have done it. I don't know if you know Wonani. She was like on Instagram.
She has a YouTube channel also.
Yes. She has a blog also. So she was one of those girls that I saw first, and I was like showing her pictures and stuff, and she's like, oh, okay. But when I told my dad, he was so happy, because my dad had an opportunity to move abroad when he was younger. Before he moved to South Africa, he had an opportunity to move to Portugal or something, and my grandmother refused. She said, no, I'm not gonna have my son move all the way there, because and it makes sense, because this was like in the 80s, because there was no social media, there was letters, there was no cell phones, there was
not even the 80s. Like in 2016, the first time I au paired, I'm listening to you talking about the girl that was your reference. I had nothing.
Yeah.
Like so my dean at the college I went to, she was an au pair, and she was an au pair like 20 years prior. But my family was like, she what? Like white kids are known to take risks. And my mom was like, you're leaving this corporate job, you're leaving all these things to go au pair. And then it's like they're gonna, because they knew people who had been kidnapped and human trafficked. So, and like my family, a lot of them are in either some police, metro, like they're all in that world. And so they were like, no. And so when I said I want to au pair, it was hard. It was the same thing. My cousin from my dad's side had an opportunity to come play professional netball here, and they said no. She didn't end up doing it. And so when I was like, I'm doing this, it was that's why I'm like, wow, I wish I had. And that's how my YouTube channel came about, is that I want to be that person for somebody else.
Because I didn't even know to look on YouTube. Like I wish because I think they still have videos from years ago, but it's like, so you want, like, the first place you wouldn't run is YouTube and be like, oh, how to be, but now people know that YouTube has everything. I mean, I know that YouTube has everything. So yeah, it's good what you're doing, because I see you talk about a lot of things that I didn't even think about talking about or telling. Some things I forgot because I'm no longer an au pair. But I think it's important that, people get that information before they make the big leap.
Yeah, because it's crazy, because I was like, I'm always like, when I came to America and my dad died, my dad died like 3 weeks of me being an au pair in America.
Oh, wow.
First time ever coming to America, no family, no friends, and whatever. And I remember just like looking on Facebook and Instagram for some, like, just wanting to talk to somebody, because my family back home was sleeping because of time difference. It's like and I ended up calling my LTC. Thank God I had like a great LTC at the time. So that was easy. But I just remember being like, I need to ask somebody. And I feel like if I had a person like me, I
Yeah.
would DM them and say, hey, this is what just happened. I didn't even know the rules. I didn't know the law. I didn't know if I could go home. I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna kick me out now, you know? And so that's why I'm like, I'm so happy that you had her to show your mom. Because when I tell you, my mom and my family were like, besides like my younger cousins, you know, the lit ones, the ones that are like, come on, America, the older people were just like, there
Yeah.
she goes. She's not coming back. You know, that whole
Yeah,
thing.
there's so much fear. And I mean it's understandable, honestly. Like
Yeah.
I understand the fear completely. Like even now. But now I'm like, you guys see me. Like I have a
Yeah.
friend who I was on her behind trying to get her to come here, but like she would stall, and then ultimately she was like, oh my god, I'm so afraid. I'm like, what are you I'm here, I'm
You
your
come
reference,
on,
like why
yeah.
would you?
You could
But
come.
I've heard that, you know how in Johannesburg you have some girls who are your friends and next thing they're pimping you out. So
Uh,
I think she probably thought it was
what's
going to be
that?
something similar. So I was like, my mom was like, don't force anybody to do anything. People will
Yeah,
come to you and ask for information, give them information. Anything else, do not force anybody. Do not try to
yeah,
advise anybody, because you don't want them, if they get to America and things don't work out for them, they're gonna be like, oh, it's your fault. You
yeah,
forced me or whatever. So yeah.
yeah. That's really true. I've like you get a lot of people like that. Like even I've been talking to some of the girls who they've been asking me. That's one of the questions, and I actually need to make a video about this. Is that
Yeah.
how do you how do you how do you convince your parents, or how do you talk to your parents? Because like this one girl really wants to come, and I was like, dude, it's like one of those things. It's like with me, I paid for everything, and I've always been Miss Independent. So my family's been like, okay, even if we don't give her the money, she's gonna find the money to go do
Of
this. You know,
course.
she's gonna find
Yeah.
the money to do this. But at the same time, now one thing I regret is not sitting with my mom and making her walk through the process with me. Because I love that you said you
Mm.
went back and you showed her, you know, your application, the form.
Yeah.
This
Hmm.
is so and so. She did it. I didn't do all that. Like even though I didn't have those people to do it, I went to all my meetings by myself. I
Wow.
I just came home and I was like, I'm leaving 11th of August. I kept saying, I'm going overseas. I was like, yeah, yeah,
What
yeah. I was
agency
like,
did you use?
Open America.
Oh, okay. I used Cultural Care.
Yeah, how's that?
It was so expensive. I wish I knew. So my thing was
Yep.
also,
Tell
once
me
I
because
found
it's
Cultural Care, I didn't look at other agencies,
yeah.
and my problem was like it was so expensive, and I wish I did Open America because it was cheaper. Like I paid 14,300.
Open America is
No
just
visa there.
ah! I literally just calculated how much I paid because I paid in bits and pieces, but I keep getting asked how much I paid in total, and that's a video that's coming out. And I was recording it and writing down how much I paid that whole thing. And I was just like, oh, I don't know why I thought I paid like I remember being like, oh, this is a lot. But
It's
then
not.
when I saw how much everyone else paid, I was like, no, guys. And the thing was, I really enjoy my agency because they helped me a lot. And I always say to
Yeah.
people, if there was a time I ever needed my agency was when my dad died. Like
Mm.
I had two rematches in less than 3 months, both rematches, and my dad died. And so that's where they came through. They paid for my Uber to the airport. The host family didn't want to take me. They paid 150 for Ubers. I thought I paid, and I was like, oh, I'm still gonna pay. The LCC's like, no, send us the bill from the Uber, and we'll give it back to you. I was like,
Wow.
so every time I'm just like, listen, it's not when you things are going good. It's when things are
Yeah.
going bad. That's when you see your agency. And so I'm always
Yeah, that is true. I
in
agree.
America.
Like,
I got
oh
my
my
money's
god.
worth. I got my money's worth with them. I was just like, I will always. I'll never forget when my dad died. They made sure I got to the airport on time. I called them Monday night. On Wednesday, I was on the plane going to my dad's funeral.
Wow.
I was just like, this is nice. Um, but what has your au pair journey like taught you about yourself and just about people?
Yo, and this is something that I always tell, because now I've seen people who go back home, and when they get home, they like, how do these people don't like, they've grown so much, like your mind has
your mind
expanded.
has
You know what I'm
expanded.
saying? Like you don't look at life like the same girl that you used to. Like, you know, when you left home, you thought probably it was okay to spank your kids and beat your kids. And
Yeah.
when you move to America, you learn not just America. There's people in South Africa who also have, you know,
Yeah.
open mind, but
it's traveling.
there's different concepts that you learn and you understand. Like for me personally, I learned that I had a lot of trauma.
Oh, really?
A lot of trauma
And
because
America's big on talk about your feelings.
yes,
feelings.
America.
Toxic traits.
Oh my God, America, like it acknowledges every little feeling that you have, and it accounts for what it's coming from or where it's coming from.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I grew so much in that, you know, in that way, because some things when I look back, I'm like, that was not right. Like that was not right at all. Even when it comes to relationships, I used to be like, this is not something that I'm proud to admit, but I used to not see my worth when it comes to dating. And so, you know, also it could be because I'm older now, but the fact that this country has, like, I've dated, right? And I got to a point where if I'm talking to guy A and guy B, I'm able to like, okay, guy A is not putting in effort, guy B is putting in effort. So like, I'm not just focusing on, because initially what I used to do was, if I'm on a dating site and I talk to guy A and guy A does nothing, no bare minimum, nothing, I would talk to guy A because I'm thinking in my mind, all I'm thinking about is, you know, we're gonna get married, we're gonna do this. So like, all, you know what I'm saying? I'll
You like
date
carrying
him,
the relationship.
I'll date him until it doesn't work out. But now I'm like, if I talk to guy A, I talk to guy B. So I'm like, A is not giving me what I need, so A is gonna go. And then I talk to guy B, and if guy B doesn't work out, I'm not afraid to just like step back and be like, okay, it's done. Initially, like in the past, I used to do that a lot. I used to just stick with somebody even though it wasn't working out in my favor. I will just make up excuses, and that stemmed from me not seeing my worth in terms of like, I deserve more, I deserve to be happy, not just struggle, not just because, you know, back home a lot of people in relationships, they struggle, like especially people in the townships and stuff, they will stick with a man even though that person
like he's being a man. You see that?
You make excuses for him.
You see, we can talk about trauma, and that I think that's one thing. I'm just like, I went the opposite, because the minute somebody says to me, "Oh, he's being a man," I'm like, bye. It's like instantly my feelings are off. It's like I'm out. I understand. I think though, maybe it's just I don't know, because I don't know here. Do you find dating here is different than back home? Do you feel like,
well, what I'll tell you
more?
So what I'll tell you is, back home I came from, so you know how everybody experiences the country differently. There's people who come from South Africa, but the rich parts of South Africa, and there's people who come from the poor parts. Like I come from the boys who live in the back rooms and the boys who don't have work. Like I come from the poorest parts of South Africa, and dating there wasn't like, there's no dates, there's nothing, like there's nothing in G. You guys are just dating. It's probably just sex.
So yeah, when you were going on dates, it was like I see.
You know what I'm saying? Like you go with, like I would meet a guy, he wouldn't put it. I mean, you still get guys like this here who just want you to come to their apartment.
Yeah.
Which is the same.
Like, no, my friend. We're not,
you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. And then you meet somebody who's gonna plan your dates, who's gonna plan you guys, because you know, like when you meet different guys, you tend to understand, to know, man, this person is not putting an effort, because you've experienced what putting an effort looks like. Like you have somebody plan dates going to the bowling alley, dates going to like road trips somewhere, and then you see, to know, man, if he wants to, he will.
If a man wants to, he will. I'm sorry. It's not even about like the money, it's the quality of the date.
Because going to the bowling alley is so cheap. Like But
The thing
if he wants to have fun with you, he
Yeah.
will, you know? So
Yeah. Okay. I hear you. I hear you on that. And so you've learned basically what you're saying is becoming an au pair has taught you confidence. You've learned to like
yes,
know
oh
your
my God,
worth,
to
speak up
stand
for
on
yourself.
myself, like on my own, and just be confident and also be open minded, see things from different perspectives.
Yeah.
Also, that's been really important for me. Like, yes, I understand that, you know, the way I grew up was not like the right way, but I'm also like trying to understand that it was the only way that my parents knew how to raise me. And then, you know, same thing with here. Like I see people raise their kids with gentle parenting as they call it, but I understand Wuti, nothing like no belief or idea that is taken to the extreme is good. Like if you live with any little thing you're spanking your kids, that's too extreme. It's not gonna work. There's too much trauma. If you do gentle parenting to a point where your kids don't know that what they did has consequences, or that every action is gonna have consequences in life, then it becomes a problem. Now you're having people who are upset in going to schools and starting to do shootings
Mm-hmm.
and stuff because they hurt, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
like, but at the end of the day, you just have to like find a balance in what works for you. So yeah, so I'm like open-minded and yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about something that we both have different opinions about. I don't even think you know this. Credit cards. Because whenever people talk about credit cards, you are like the girl, the face, the good credit, the this. I'm always just like, I just stay quiet because I'm just like, we pay as we go. Now the difference is I would like to say I'm super patient. I
Mhm.
don't think I will in certain aspects. When it comes to money, I'm okay with waiting and saving that money up and buying it and that whole thing.
Yeah.
So with you, why are you so passionate about good credit, credit cards? Like, can you explain it? Because you've helped a lot, like, despite me not, okay, feeling for whatever, you've genuinely helped a lot of people around it.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, having a credit card is like the easiest way to build your credit. And we know that without a good credit score, you can't, like in 2021, I wanted to get my own apartment and I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get my own apartment because my credit was shitty.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go back to the drawing board and use my credit card to build my, that was the only way I could. There was nothing else that I could do to build my credit.
So, did you have a credit card when you were still au pairing?
I did. I only had a Capital One credit, but it only had $200, and I hardly used it because I had this mentality that credit cards are bad. You shouldn't use them. So I
Mm-hmm.
did not know that what I can smart, like I can be smart about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I always tell people this when I say use your credit cards instead of your regular debit card. I'm not saying go and max your credit card. I'm not saying pay for something you cannot afford, because
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people once you buy those shoes that you wanted with your credit card, the following day, not even the following day, like immediately after the charge comes up, you pay for it in full, as you know, as you've used it. And if
Mm-hmm.
you can't pay in full, make sure that you pay 90% of it
Mm.
at least. So I'm always like reiterating on that point, because I feel like then people are gonna go out and then mix their credit card and be in debt and then be like, because that's even worse than you not using your credit card.
Yeah.
So if you get, so I couldn't get an apartment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, so I came back, I did my research. A lot of people would post on the group tips and stuff, so I took all of that and then I said, okay, I'm gonna get another credit card, but I couldn't get it because my credit was shitty. So
Oh.
I had to rely on the one credit card I had, use it, pay for it, do all the tricks that I said on my video on my YouTube channel. And
Mm-hmm.
once that was done, I was able to afford, you know, to qualify for an apartment, and then later on qualify for my own car. The thing is, like, the credit score system is designed to see whether or not you can handle your money.
Mm-hmm.
And so the easiest way to do that is to use your credit card. So if you cannot afford it, don't use your credit card to buy it. A lot of people do that, and that's where they go left, and then you find yourself in so much debt, and you like can't get out of it, because then that also crashes your credit score to a point where these people, they're not going to give you anything because they see, no, you've done, like you've messed up your credit. You can't deal with money technically. Like basically that's what it is. You can't handle your money.
I want to talk about this because this is where I started being like, hold up, the level of discipline. And you probably know what I'm going to talk about next, because I was just like, how do you do this? So you built a house with your Aupair money. Let's talk about it. First of all, did you buy the land, or you already had the land before you moved to America?
So my family used to live in Pretoria prior to 2012, and then we had an uncle who had land, and he basically sold it to my mom, but he failed to tell my mom that he already given it to somebody else. And so we moved there, which was still shacks. It wasn't a house or anything. And then the government built RDP houses for people. So that guy that had the land, he said, it's my land, it's my house. So we lived behind his RDP house in a shack. So when I moved here, I was like, we gotta change it. So what I did was we looked for land first. At that point, it was still a little cheaper. It was like 80,000 rands. And then from there, in 2020, I started building. So I had to buy the land and build.
So how did you do all that being so far? Because it's like, you obviously have to have somebody, number one, that you trust back home that's not going to take the money and spend the money. And then you have to find like good people to actually do the foundation and all these things. So what was that like?
So first of all, my mom was sick and tired, because when we were growing up, when it rained, my mom would have to wake us up and move the beds and stuff. Sometimes it would be so like water will come in and it'll be up to your ankles, and it was not a nice experience. And so my mom was sick of that experience. So when I told her that, okay, we're looking for land, we're going to build. So she was the one that, took over the project. She was the one to find somebody reliable to build. She was overseeing everything. And, I didn't have to talk to her about, making sure that she knows what she's supposed to do. Like, this is for you guys. So it's like, if somebody right now wanted to build you a house, there's no way you're going to fuck that up. It's for you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, but a lot of stuff that required big money, I paid for it using my account. So like, I wasn't given, so I left my bank card, my NetBank bank card in South Africa when I came here, so that when I send the money in my account, they can use the card to withdraw money. But most of the stuff, I paid for it online for like Cash Build and Builders. I would pay for it. Like if we needed like bricks that cost 30,000, I would pay for that instead of having somebody having access to that money cash or something like that. So, but I don't even think that was necessary, because my mom, she wanted that as much as I wanted it, for us to have a proper house that was safe and everything. So yeah, that was that. And then when it came to saving for it, every time I think about it, I'm like, the hand of God played a huge part, because as an au pair, I don't think, when I look at it now and I see other au pairs, I'm like, it's not possible, because the events that led up to me finishing it and doing everything, it was like out of this world. Like COVID. When COVID happened, for 6 months, I didn't leave the house. Like literally, my host parents had toddlers. They were obsessed with COVID, killing them. And so we didn't leave the house for 6 months. And that 6 months, their business was flourishing, because they had this life policy business where a lot of people had this fear that if they were to die, they wanted their family members to be left with something. So a lot of people would sign up. So their business required them to be on Zoom all the time. So they were like, Mariana, we need your extra hands overtime and stuff. So they paid me extra, which was not a lot. It was like $100 extra a week, so $400 extra a month.
Mm-hmm.
But that plus the money that I was making as an au pair
Mm-hmm.
all went to South Africa. All
Yeah.
went
Yeah.
towards fast tracking the building process, because at that time everybody was just, my dad had lost his job also, so everybody was just not doing anything. So we also found somebody, because of COVID they were not able to do a lot of work, so they were like desperate for work. So we
Mm-hmm.
kind of paid him and we negotiated like 15,000 less for his
Oh, yeah.
services.
So just the timing worked.
Everything worked in my favor, like everything aligned for that house to be built. And I
Yeah.
always tell people that I manifested that house since I was in ninth grade.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like this, because a lot of people are like, oh my god, Mariana, how? Like they don't understand. I'm like, it's hard to comprehend. And I always tell people like it was God. Like it's difficult for me to explain it to them, because when I was in ninth grade, that's why I was taught about like praying and being intentional about the things that you want. And that's when I started praying for us to have a house, because all our lives we've just been living in a shack and stuff. And I would always see people living in nice houses, and I always wanted that, because our house is like 4-bedroom, 2 bathrooms, a kitchen, a dining area, well, living area / dining area, and a garage. That's
Did
like a huge house.
Yeah, did
That's
you design it from here?
yeah. So my mom, my mom was like, we want to do what you want, because you've always, it's always been my dream for us to have a good home. So my mom was like, do the design and everything. So I designed. Well, technically I didn't design it, so I just did a sketch of how I wanted it to look like.
Yeah.
And then I sent it to my mom, and my mom went to the engine, like the architect, the person who does the plans and stuff, and they just tweaked it here and there to suit the space, because the space is also, I don't know if you know, the locations back in South Africa, the townships, the spaces, the land is not too big.
Yeah.
So they just tweaked it here and there, to fit, because the whole house literally occupies the entire land. There's like nothing that it occupies the entire land from start to finish. There's no space for any events or anything, or like a garden or nothing. That's how big the house was. So, and I was like, I don't want a smaller one, just do the 4 rooms and stuff, so everybody has their own room and everything. So yeah.
It's inspiring, and it's gonna inspire a lot of people, because I'm just like, girl, how did you do it? You had no life, like all your money just basically and you just put your head down and you did it in 2 years.
Yeah. So I came in 2019. So by 2021, when I was done with Aupair, the house was done, but it wasn't like furnished, or there was no paint, there's no ceiling or anything. So there's other stuff that I had to do even after, but so they moved in 2021 when I was done with Aupair, and they moved it even though it wasn't done properly. My mom was like, this house is so much better than a shack, so we moving in, we're not gonna wait. And so I was like, no, it's fine, you guys can move in, because it's gonna take time for me to actually finish, because I also have to focus on my own life. Like then I had to like get my own apartment and then get my car, like do stuff for me as well. It's still
good. It's like basically 90%. It sounds like 90% of the house is done.
It is like now a lot. We've done like a lot of stuff, honestly. It's just the furniture and the kitchen, and the 1 bathroom is done. Everything like the shower tiles and everything is done. But I told them like I'm kind of focusing on me now, so you guys and I have to take a back seat. But once in a while, if I feel like this one time I was like, I had Netflix, and then I was like, my family could have Netflix. So I bought them this 65-inch TV. So everybody was like so excited, which was like 12,000 rands. And people were like, oh my God, my sister, that's where she started getting serious about coming here, because she saw how casual I just sent the money. Like she was like, oh my God, I also want to be like, hey, here's 10,000 rand, go buy a TV. And so she started getting serious about coming here, is because she saw like, oh my God, you have money, which I technically don't, but she, for her, it felt like, oh my God, you have a lot of money. So
But you use it wisely, because it's like, I mean, I speak to my nieces and nephews, they're always like, man. Like, they're always like, oh, can I? And I'm just like, my friends, it's a lot of saving. It's like,
yeah,
even when they see me go on holiday with my friends and they see me eat out, they're just like, oh, you can eat takeout all the time. And it's like,
I know, right?
now I'm just like, wait, should I not be posting this because I'm going to think I have money? It's like, you have to manage your money well, or else you're not gonna see it. Because I've spoken to quite a few pairs that have gone home with zero, like nada,
No.
and it's like the one thing now where I'm just like, I should honestly, technically speaking, I should have way more money than I have right now. But because of my gadgets, I've bought computers, laptops, and my YouTube. Oh, my YouTube has taken my money, so that's why I'm like, okay, I've invested in myself.
Yeah, I mean, you've invested it. It's one thing when you've investing in something, and it's another totally to not have anything to show for the money. Like you because I was telling this to my sister, because she got her account and she got paid and stuff, and I was like, your first pay, that's where your savings start. If you don't start then, the habit of saving will never, you'll always have something come up. Life will always come at you. And she's like, but no, I will have, I'm like, if you don't start now, forget it.
Happen then.
Forget it.
Yeah, because you're gonna look back and it's like 2 months and you're like, wait, where did my money go?
Exactly. I was telling her, I'm like, when it comes to savings, that's what I like. My first pay, literally, I was like, I'm saving half of it. Like the first month, I was like, I'm saving, because I knew what I wanted to do with the money. It's hard when you don't have a set goal, but also having money just being there if you need it, it's also a good goal. Yeah,
that's true. It's like, it's definitely, even with it's funny because even saving interest, I use this one app that gives you a higher return interest savings account, and I'm like, no, I need a higher one.
The higher the money, the riskier it is. So I mean, there's people, like, I see people always being like, oh my God, you shouldn't save your money because it's not, it's going to depreciate value, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I'm like, do I want to take a 70% risk of losing my money?
And
I don't have money to lose right now. I'd rather put it there and technically put it under your mattress. I'd rather do that than, doing the risky stuff, because I've done a lot of like one time I did this whole forex thing. You know how everybody was so obsessed
with baby girl, that's not what I'm talking about. Mine is still this is a debit order thing in this online, and even still I'm moving. I have two. I mustn't want that. No, I haven't.
I was like, nope, I wouldn't advise anybody who doesn't have money to waste to do that, because it's high risk. And there's a lot of scammers also out there. So
I'm talking about an actual savings account for the bank. It's like this one bank, they're an online bank. I've spoken about it with the Aupair video, how to save money, whatever. But they have an interest rate, I think, that's higher than the normal. I think the normal is like 2% or 0.2% or something. This one is, I need to look at it. This one is like 3.95 or 4 or something like that. And I was just looking at my interest rates. It's like, it's doing well, but I like to split it so I can have another account where if this one goes down, it's okay. I'm not saying about that. Crypto and all those things, no, I stay away from those, because I'm just like, I don't like putting my money where I don't understand. I need to understand what I'm doing, or else you're not getting my money.
That's true.
Let's talk about your favorite parts, which I am so proud of you for this, because we've been speaking, I think, for like a year and a half. And when you first messaged me and you were like, hey, I'm thinking of starting a YouTube channel, I was like, yay! I'm always excited when people want to start channels or just content, because I'm like, somebody will understand, because it's hard work, y'all. It's not easy.
Oh my God.
And so I was like, yeah, and then you started and then you disappeared. And I was like, how?
No, so I'll tell you what happened. So the first channel that I did was ASMR, and I love ASMR. I watch ASMR all the time. It helps me to sleep. It helps me to relax. Like sometimes you have this tension in your shoulders, in your head, and you're like, oh my God. And you watch something that relaxes you. I don't know if you've watched it or if you like to watch it, but there's a few of them that I watch and I enjoy, and it relax. Like I'll put my earphones on and sit on the couch and I'll fall asleep. And
Uh-huh.
so I was like, I want to do this. And I did a couple of videos, which I really enjoyed. But the channel, I started it before I finished my au pairing. So my au pairing was supposed to be for 4 more months, because you remember Biden did the whole 6 months extension thing.
Oh yeah,
But I couldn't finish that whole extension because the last family that I was with, the little toddler was like, oh my God, like he would scratch me. This one time he tried to scratch my eye out. And so I was like, I'm not going through another rematch. I'm not doing this. I'm quitting. So basically, I quit, and then I had to move. And things were a little rough for me. Like, it was really hard. So from there, I couldn't focus on YouTube because I was trying to figure out a way for me to make money, a way for me to stay in the country. So I was like, I'm not focusing on
yeah,
YouTube, because technically it wasn't
yeah,
doing anything either. I had to ask people to subscribe and stuff. So it wasn't a priority
yeah,
at the time. And
yeah.
so years later to today, well, in December, when I got my car, I wanted to do a reel. And then I was like, maybe I should do a YouTube video. And then, because the reel was too long, and I was like, let me just do a YouTube video. And I'm like, you know what? What's stopping me now from, starting
Starting
again my YouTube channel? And I'm like, let me
rebranding.
do this. And so I did the video, and then the next couple of ideas for my videos came, and then there was people messaging me about credit cards, because I would send people my link to, because I
Uh-huh.
get paid every time somebody uses my link.
Uh-huh.
So the referral incentive. And so I saw a lot of people would message me about the credit card thing, so I made a video about that. The video did so well. And
Yeah.
then the au pairing, I would have people message me. I was like, let me do a video. Even now, people still message me and they don't want to watch the video, and I get so pissed because I'm like, dude, I spent so much time on that video. Go watch the video. It has everything you're asking me right now.
I'll tell you. I'll teach you how to respond to those people because I have that all the time. I'll teach you tricks of that because I know exactly what you're saying. But I I saw your channel and sometimes I will miss when you post. But now I even know you post on the Friday. Okay.
Well,
I'm
I
like a
don't have
fan.
a schedule, and I wish I had a schedule, but sometimes it's like life gets so overwhelming,
That's
and
be
you're like,
life.
I wanna post today, but it doesn't happen. So I'm like, oh, and then I have to post another day. But I'm gonna try to come up with this schedule so I'm consistent with that schedule.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But a tip about that, just put once every week, that way people know every week, not like the day. But I love the content, like the vlogs. I love your vlogs too. I'm here for the content. It's like I feel like whenever I watch Aupair's content, because I do YouTube and I'm a content creator, the
Yeah.
commenting, the watching, I'm always like engaged. So I'm also curious. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening in her life? Is it the same to my
I
life?
know, right? I'm also
Oh
the
my
same
god,
way. When
okay.
I see,
Oh, we
when
do
I
the same
see,
problem.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
I
I was like,
know.
oh wow, I didn't see it that way. You know, like I just
Mm.
thought this is how it's gonna be, whatever. But even your mukbang, when you did your mukbang, I was like, I did a mukbang and I love, well, let me not say I love it. My subscribers love mukbangs. I
Yes.
personally don't like them. When I do it, they do so well, but I'm always just like, oh.
But it's so uncomfortable to eat in front of people. Like, you imagining there's people who hate when looking at other people eat. And
Yeah,
so they'll watch the video and they'll have negative comments. But you have to think, I love mukbangs. Like, I watch a lot of Asian mukbangs. I watch a lot of seafood mukbangs. So I knew exactly what people like about them. And there was a girl who messaged me and said, the sound, you need to use a mic because the sounds were like, they were there but they were not as good. I'm like, girl, there's so many people who hate the sounds of eating, and she was like, no, that's what I like,
I never scared
you
of
know
Mike and zoom in.
right?
Yeah,
So I was like, yeah, there's people who love it, and but now I can't do it because I have diabetes, so like I can't eat a lot, so
yeah,
I can't do mukbangs. I can try and find healthy food, but people love seafood there's specific food that people love to see others eat, not just anything.
yeah,
So I'm like, I
yeah.
guess it is what it is. But yeah, that was fun.
So
I really enjoyed it.
what made you start? Like, what was the idea behind your YouTube channel? What made you start a channel? Were you just like creating content? You just like the idea of it?
So, because this was different from ASMR.
Mm-hmm.
Also, because with my family being so far away from me, they would always ask me what's going on in my
Yeah.
life, what I'm doing. My little sister, when I bought the car, she'd be like, "Where are you
Really?
going
So big.
now?" She's
Yeah. Yeah.
8 and she gets so excited. And she's like, "Where are you going now? What are you going to do?" And
Yeah.
so when I started, so my idea was I'm going to document my life.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how people have all these,
Journey.
like we were talking earlier, how people think you're doing this or you're doing that in America. So I was like, my family needs to see me. Also, other people need to see me that I'm okay, I'm doing well, I'm happy. And so I was like, if I could just document everything, and then and I see how other people are doing with their channels, and I see you and I see Karaw and I see Modi, and I'm like,
Yeah.
people are
I love
having
it.
fun, they're enjoying
Yeah.
themselves. I'm
I
like,
love how their personality comes out. It's like, it's funny because we all do content, but everyone's is so different.
yes.
And so I'm always like, oh, I wish mine was like that. But then I'm like, I do it and I'm like, no.
You are the only you.
The
You're the
video.
only, like nobody can do you the way you do you. Like nobody can do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I also have moments where I'm trying to compare myself to others, and I look at somebody's content. I'm like, but the thing is, like, we have different lives and different ways that we're living our lives. So, and the fact that we're different is what makes it so unique, because if you watch one person, you definitely have to watch the others, because everybody's so different. So if we all did the same thing, it will just be boring. Like you watch Angel and you're like, oh, I've seen everything. Everybody else is gonna do what she did, so it's important to just do different stuff. So
I love your vlogs. Vlogs are made for you. I hate vlogs.
They're harder to do. And the thing is, like, for me, I feel like the videos where I'm sitting down and sharing information, they do so well. And I'm like, I don't do a lot when it comes to these vlogs, because I just have to dress up and just stand in front of the camera and talk and do a script, maybe just to make sure that I've put all the points through. The vlogs, I have to be holding the camera and you're trying to live your life and enjoy every moment, and next thing there's a camera here. Oh, this moment, let me just capture it. When I went to Hawaii on my vacation, that I did so much vlogging because I thought those videos are gonna do so well, and they did not. Funny enough, they did okay, but they did not do as well as I thought they would. But if I put a video of credit cards or pairing, those are gonna do so well.
Well, you are doing amazing. I was looking, I'm like, it's growing well. I love where your channel is. I keep going into check. I'm like a little like, oh look, she has more views. It's like, I'm really excited for you. Like I really am, especially because I know, like, when you first started and we've had conversations off camera, just like, DMing, and I see the work you're putting in, and I see the effort, even though you may not be able to post, like on the Friday exact same time, but I still see the content. Whenever you post, I'm like, oh, she posted a video today, look at her.
And it's so crazy because it feels like natural now, the way, the posting and everything. Like, I just feel like, the ideas keep coming, and I have a list of where I add all the ideas that I like, and then I just see, okay. And sometimes I don't even go on there because something else comes, like my sister coming here. I was like, okay, I gotta vlog that a little bit, and so, I mean,
I think you're just ready, and you're just ready, because the same thing when I just pressed record and I went public, I was like, I've been saying for a while I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I even had one with friends back home. And then we had it for 2 months, whatever. And then I came here and we tried doing it while I was here, and it was just not working. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then when I was ready, I had the first video I ever did was sitting there private for a while. It was sitting private, and then I just was like, you know what? I'm ready. And it's the same thing with you. It's like I see the difference. I feel like you're enjoying it also more now. I see like you love, so I'm really excited for you, and it's gonna flourish. I'm telling you, end of this year, girl, you're gonna be getting paid.
The thing is, I see, because now today I got to 250 subscribers and 10,000 views overall on the channel. So I was like, okay. So I was like, you know what? It's growing. It's not growing as fast as others grow, but
It's pretty
it's
well
moving.
though.
It's moving.
I'm telling you now, once you hit over 1,000, it's over. Like once you hit your 1,000, and I think you're growing really well. I think you are growing at the pace you should grow.
Yeah.
But once you hit over 1,000, it's just gonna grow. And the thing is, the more you grow, the more you get questions. And so don't even focus about the numbers. I always say, don't focus on the numbers, don't focus on the cash. Just enjoy it. And you're gonna look up one day and you'll be like, wait, what? Like I'm here. That's what's been happening. Because even now I'm trying to grow my other channel. I have another one.
Dude, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking my ASMR has to come back.
Hey,
because I was thinking the same thing. Because now you're mentioning that you have another channel. Because my other channel is still there. My ASMR channel is still there. So I'm like, maybe I should do one video a week also on the ASMR and just let it slowly grow as well. So I don't know. We'll see.
My others are just fun. I don't know how else to say it.
What the other channel you have? What is it about?
So I've moved channels. So this one is mainly Aupair now, and then the other one is South African stuff. I think I have 2 videos that are coming out for South Africa that are still. So I pre-record my videos, and they all batched. They should be. I think April is done. I record early and in schedule, and so I think in April I have probably 1 or 2 that are coming out that are still South African. I'm trying to get the South African out that I've recorded already. And then this one is going to be mainly Aupair stuff. If I'm not honest, I feel like I'm just going in the Aupair direction with this one. And then I'm taking all my South African content to another channel. I haven't...
When you say South African content, what is it exactly?
So, like how I do South African in America, like the mukbang. So that's because my TikTok is that. My TikTok is South African content. Like my TikTok.
Okay. I think that's fun. A lot of people, they always wonder what is life like as a South African in America. So I think that's a good.
And so I'm moving all my content from this one to that one, and then I have some other content that's on there. But that one that doesn't have my attention, like it's scheduled. It's also another one. I think it's scheduled until like end of April. All my content there is already ready. I just need to do like 3 or 4 thumbnails, but it's like I hardly like look at it. Like yesterday I went on and I saw a short that I had scheduled and I was like 1K views. Oh, okay. But like that's not my priority because I'm trying to focus on this one because this one is like my baby. Yeah. But anyway, that's a topic for another time. We can talk about that off camera. I'll tell you the T's, the pros and cons. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on my channel. I'm so excited.
Dude, I felt so special. I don't want to lie. I felt like, those pastors who get invited to the other church.
Like, listen, you come to the food special. Listen, I'm grateful for all my 5,000 subscribers. Don't get me wrong. It's 5,000 people on my channel. Wow. So I'm grateful for them. We're about to get 6,000. I just need like 200.
I remember last time I spoke to you, you were not even over 3,000, which was, I think, maybe like more than a year ago. So that's amazing that you've grown so much. Like,
yeah, I'm trying to like I really do love my people. It's the consistency, guys.
Yeah, you are very consistent. I remember like I would see because you would post on the other groups as well. Like I hardly post on other people's groups. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, like she's so consistent. And the fact that you're always promoting your stuff. Like I've only promoted once I upload. After that, I'm like, but I need to do more.
When you think Aupair, the goal is when you think Aupair, my face must come to mind. That's it.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
When you think Aupair, you must be, Angel. And it's with host families and au pairs. It's like I'm the brand. When
Angel.
Yeah, that's the goal.
That is true.
That's the goal.
I think I'll also direct anybody who has more questions to your channel so they can get all their questions answered. Because you have like literally everything anybody can think of asking. Some they don't even know they should be asking. You have it, which is amazing.
Anyway, thank you so much for being on my channel.
Thank you for having me.
So that was the conversation. Thank you so much for watching my video. I am going to link all our information in the description at the bottom. Go give her a subscribe. I know quite a few of you probably also won't have Aupair questions and just like vlogs. She's amazing with vlogs. And so if you want to see the vlog side also, go subscribe to the girl. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? But yeah, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.